What's going on, the homies? Jolt here from TheTokenMinorities, and I am back with the LBC Week 7 match this week against Radioactive, the coach of the Iowa Hawluchas. Make sure to go check him out. He'll be linked down in the description below. Now, before we jump into this game at all, I want to apologize for a couple reasons. One is obviously the fact that this video is going up late. Once again, this week I'm recording this right now on Sunday, but I actually have to catch a flight in about 2 hours. So I'm trying to knock this thing out real quick before I go over to the airport. And yeah, so I'm not going to be able to edit this thing up and get it up on Sunday most likely. And on the off chance that it does go up really late tonight, then awesome. That means I was able to move pretty quickly in the editing process, but I don't expect my hotel to have fast internet, so it might take a little while to get this uploaded. But anyways, I apologize for that. Also, a brief apology for no upload for the Week 6 battle against Ultra Player. Long story short, it could have been a really good game. It could have been a really good game. It was bound to be a really tight finish. In the game, I brought kind of a cool, like, nasty pass oriented team with the Scar Porygon Z, but unfortunately, we ended up missing a Toxic and immediately getting swept by a Necrozma in that game. So we did lose that game, and obviously, you know, it was pretty hacksy, which is always a little bit unfortunate. It kind of made for a game that wasn't exactly great for commentary purposes. It would have been really salty on my end. Not very salty, I guess, more so just like I wouldn't really know what to say because, you know, the game plan didn't really get to come to fruition because I just straight up missed a Toxic and got swept. Like, there's not a whole lot to say in that case. So Ultra Player did beat us last week, and yes, we're trying to bounce back here in this game. So Radioactive is a pretty cool team. He opted to bring the Crocodile, Regice, the Zeraora, Slowbro, Tornadus T, and the Roserade in this game, as you can see. And he actually had access to a Mega Mawile as well, but he did not decide to bring it. So I am ecstatic to see that here at Team Preview for sure. This week we are bringing Rotom Wash, Mew, Mega Beedrill, Togekiss, Zygarde 50, and the Porygon Z. In terms of these sets, very briefly, as we did not have a team builder this week once again, the Rotom Wash, very straightforward defensive sets. It does have Protect, Toxic, Hydro Pump, and Volt Switch. Protect was to help me stall out Trick Room turns if he opted to bring a Trick Room Slowbro into Mega Mawile combination in this matchup, but otherwise pretty much fully defensive, I believe. The Mew is a utility Stealth Rocker set this week with an Papa Berry. It does have U-Turn, Scald, Psyshock, and Stealth Rock. The Mega Beedrill, very straightforward 4-attack set. Jolly Nature with speed for the Zeraora. Also has Pursuit to potentially help me Pursuit Trap the Roserade, which otherwise is one of the few Pokemon that can safely switch into my Rotom Wash. So that's something I definitely have my eye on. Then I have my Togekiss, which is pretty disgusting this week. It is a sub-Toxic Roost Flamethrower Togekiss, which, as you can just look at his team, you can see how annoying that is for him. He doesn't have a whole lot of ways to deal with that, and that gives me an opportunity, potentially an option, to even 1v1 the Zeraora, or at least weaken it a lot with the Togekiss to where it'll be in range of something like my Zygarde's Extreme Speed, as my Zygarde this week is a pretty strong set, just a standard Dragon Dancer, Extreme Speed Z, Outrage, and 1,000 Arrows, with a decent amount of bulk investments. But yeah, Dragonium Z, it's going to be able to do a lot of damage to his team. He did not bring any of his 1,000 Arrows resists. I believe he only had, I think he might have had, I don't think he had 1,000 Arrows resist. I think his only resist was the Slowbro, you know, quote unquote resist. Slowbro and Crocodile, the only things on his team that could realistically take 1,000 Arrows, you know, relatively well. So having the Dragonium Z helps out against both of those options as potential switch-ins here in this game. So Zygarde's probably the primary win con, but obviously the momentum core of this team is always a win con on its own if I'm just able to outplay my opponent. Then I have a Specs Porygon Z, which pretty much just has a bunch of normal stab this week. It is carrying the Tri-Attack, Uproar, Hyper Beam, and the Ice Beam this week. So that's also looking really solid against him if I get it in against something like the Regice, the Slowbro, or honestly even the Roserade, as it shouldn't be able to knock me out out with any one hit unless it's like a Life Orb, Leaf Storm, and he wins the speed ties. So that is the team we are bringing for this week, trying to win this game with the Zygarde if possible, but again, Momentum can do some pretty good damage to him as well. So we are just going to kick this off with my Rotom Wash lead, as I felt like it matched up well against anything on his team, and if he did decide to lead off with the Roserade, I can always go into my Mew right away at that point and get up my Stealth Rock, which are really important in this game, as I don't really expect him to bring Defog in this matchup unless it's on the Torrentine. I just don't think he's going to do it. So I'm going to lead off with the Rotom Wash as he opts to lead off with the Crocodile. Now here expected him to preserve his Crocodile, as it's probably one of his best ways to offensively check my Mew. I am just going to go straight for the aggressive Volt Switch on turn 1 as he opts to stay in and go for his Stealth Rock, which was very surprising to me. I thought for sure he'd try to switch out there. Unfortunately, now I'm probably going to have to eat a knockoff as I stay in with my Rotom and now go for the Hydro Pump, as he actually just goes for the Pursuit, expecting me to switch there, which is cool. He does reveal here to have the Focus Sash, which makes a lot of sense. I guess that's why he opted to stay in. I'm very okay with this though, because this means it's going to be in range of Stealth Rock once I get them up, which is that's always nice, obviously. So here I was really tempted to go for another Volt Switch, but I expect him to go for a knockoff if he has it. Expect him to go for a knockoff here if he has it, or to switch in to something like the Roserade. And in either case, my Zygarde was a really good response here, as he actually reveals the Roar, which tells me that he probably does not have knockoff on this set. It's probably Earthquake, Pursuit, Stealth Rock, and Roar on this Crook, which means my Rotom is like really, really safe against this thing. So I am just going to stay in and go for another Hydro Pump. There's a chance he could have tried to go into the Roserade there, and even if he makes that play, the Hydro Pump should put it in guaranteed range of a hit for my Mega Beedrill, so overall I'm okay with that, as he does actually opt to sack off the Crocodile, which is a-okay with me. Getting rid of Crocodile is definitely nice for my Mew specifically, as well as for my Zygarde, as now his only response to Zygarde is looking like that Slowbro, and if I can get a little bit of chip on Slowbro, then a +1 Draconium Z should be able to knock it out from the Outrage. So anyway, I'm just going to go into my Mew now, as he opts to go into the Roserade to check my Rotom, which is fair enough. He does make a nice aggressive play and goes straight for the Stun Spore, probably expecting my Mew or my Mega Beedrill to come in. So good on him there, although I do have the Synchronize ability on my Mew, so I'm going to be able to synchronize that Paralysis right back to the Roserade, as now I'm going to go straight for my Stealth Rock here, because Stealth Rock are looking super, super good against his team, and because he just sacrificed his Rocker, that means these rocks are either going to be here to stay, or, you know, he's going to defog away both my rocks and his, and that'd be fine with me as well. As here is going to go straight for the knockoff with his Torrent. I decided to stay in with my Mew just to get chip damage off on this Torrent to put it in guaranteed range of a hit for my Mega Beedrill, as Beedrill is also looking really threatening against this team because he opted to not bring his Steel type in the Mega Mawile this game. So that's looking pretty nice. I am just going to pull the slow U-turn now, or the Mew-turn, into my Mega Beedrill now, because with rocks on the field and his whole team, just looking how his whole team looks, Mega Beedrill should just claim a kill literally every single time it comes into the game from this point forward, which is amazing to say this early in the game. As I am going to go ahead and Mega Evolve, he is going to select his sack, and his sack of choice is the Tornadus T. So Mega Beedrill is going to Mega Evolve. I'm going to pop off the Poison Jab, and the Torrentee is going to drop to that. So Mega Beedrill picking up yet another kill. It is currently leading the MVP race this season, which is pretty awesome, especially considering this is only the 5th game of 7 that I've brought it to so far. But anyways, he's going to go into his Regice. I'm just going to pop a U-turn on the Regice and just go into my Rotom Wash. There's nothing this thing should really be able to do to hit my Rotom Wash for any significant amount of damage, and it should be able to just maintain momentum on this, or maybe just fire off a Toxic. But he actually reveals the counter, which I did not expect whatsoever. His Rotom is going to drop here, which, wow, that's really cool prep there on his part there for sure. Fortunately, I didn't really need Rotom Wash anymore in the game, considering how potent my offensive members are going to be against the remainder of his team, but that definitely caught me off guard. As now I'm going to go back into my Beedrill and claim another kill, as the Regice is going to go down to a Poison Jab. So Mega Beedrill putting in the work once again, as now he's going to go into a Zeraora. If he is a Choice Scarfed Zeraora and outspeeds me here, which he actually ends up being Choice Scarfed, then it should be set up fodder for my Zygarde, which should be able to probably clean up the remainder of the game. but he actually locks into a close combat here, which means my Mega Beedrill is going to be able to survive pretty easily and knock this thing straight out with a U-turn. If he was a non-choice scarfed set, then it should have been in range of my Mega Beedrill anyways, or at least in range of Mega Beedrill's U-turn into Zygarde's extreme speed, as I was guaranteed to take any ice move from the Zeraora with my set. So here I'm just going to go into my Porygon Z, knowing that it should be able to really knock out the remainder of his team, as I am a choice specs variant. Even if he goes into the Roserade and has the natural cure to get rid of the paralysis, which he actually doesn't have, he's probably a Technician on this set, then my Porygon Z should be able to take that hit from the Roserade, unless it's like a Life Orb Leaf Storm, in which case I can sweep the rest of his team with probably Beedrill, honestly. But yeah, even so, he is just going to drop to the Specs Uproar, and then the Slowbro is going to also go down to the Specs Uproar. And Porygon Z finally putting in some fine work in this game, picking up the last 2 kills of the match. So, great game to Brady. I really loved the Regice set. Regice is honestly a mon that I didn't prep for in this game. I really didn't. I just thought, okay, Rotom Wash switches in pretty much freely whenever I needed to, and the rest of my team is pretty offensive. I should be able to break it down. But counter was pretty cool there for sure. But fortunately, the team worked out about as well as I could have hoped for. Mega Beedrill, man. Mega Beedrill put in so much work this season. I believe it has 13 kills and only 2 deaths so far this season in 5 games. So yeah, Mega B, wow, I really slept on this thing throughout the generation. I should have drafted this many more times than I have, this being my first time in the entirety of my draft format career using Mega Beedrill. I am very impressed with it. It's a super good revenge killer, and yeah, like your opponent can't switch into it freely because you can always just U-turn on it with an adaptability boosted U-turn and get yourself into another massive threat or another momentum on, just to, you know, put them in this endless cycle of pain. So Mega Beedrill, you know, really awesome here, and I hope you guys are enjoying seeing Mega Beedrill in action throughout the season. So that is going to wrap up this game. I had not thought about a question of the day yet, just because this is super rushed, as hopefully it's not coming across as super rushed, but I understand if it is, because it's kind of a rush. I'm trying to get to the airport really soon. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. Next week we have our final game of the season against Diet Tight, and that should be pretty good. He's also, I think we're both clinched for playoffs actually at this point, so I'm not sure how that game's going to go in terms of the complexity of the team. It's probably going to be a little bit on the lower end of the spectrum for team complexity, just because, you know, it's a potential playoff opponent once again, and I think we're both locked up for that. So we'll see what ends up happening on that, but I will very much so try to get that video up for you on time. Yeah, I've been really bad about that throughout this season, but there's been a lot going on back here, so, you know, I feel like I'm doing about the best I can on that. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment to let me know what your thoughts are about the battle and whatever the heck the question of the day ends up being, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.